All right. Happy Sunday. Good morning. Today is January the 31st, and this is Derek's Weekly Crypto Update. Guys, this week we're going to be going over some Bitcoin news, some Zcash news. We're going to be going over and looking at our charts, seeing what's going on, seeing if everything's still following the charts that we did. We haven't adjusted our 4-day on the, or our 4-hour on the trading view for Bitcoin. We did add in a little bit of a trend that we were looking at in Bitcoin versus Zcash, the Zcash to Bitcoin ratio. And we're going to take a look at Zcash and see how we're doing on that one. See if there's, I saw we were down a little bit. Let's take a look and see if we can update a chart on that. And we'll see if there's anything big in the news this week. Stay tuned. Let's go over this. All right, and if we take a look at our charts for the day up here, looks like we have a little bit of an increase on the week to week. Remember, we take our times at midnight of Saturday going into Sunday. I do this on CoinGecko every week to keep us consistent. I know we did take a little bit of a tumble, and I think Bitcoin's down just a little bit more in the $32,000 range right now. But last night at midnight it was $34,000, and we are down, I think, 3.7% on the past 24 hours. Zcash, on the other hand, down 4.26%. It was 84.99. I think that one did go up just a little bit. I think we're riding that one, maybe even a little lower. We'll take a look at that shortly. But Zcash, Bitcoin, they're still in periods where they're just staying pretty much the same where they've been for the past 3 weeks. So we're going to look a little bit more into these charts. But right now, let's just dive right in. All right, and looking into our Bitcoin chart, if we look here, it looks like the squeeze is back on. Remember, I look to this chart right here, and when I'm looking at the squeeze, I'm not looking at either of these lines right here. I'm looking at these two bands that are up above it and this little chart down here in this area. So if you look down here, we got 4 big plus signs that are black. That typically means that we're starting to squeeze again. The volatility is starting to get a little bit more tight. And that's when we really look, once the squeeze just lasts for a little bit longer. Remember, these are 4-hour intervals that we're playing on here. So this is right now, we're looking at around a 16 hours of squeeze. We had about 5 days of squeeze the last time before we really pushed up and made a big push to 38. I think it was right around, 38.5. So remember, we went down here, we were riding this bottom part of this Bollinger Band, and it started squeezing, and then it broke out. See, if you look here, this is when the volatility, you'll notice volatility will start to expand and explode. You'll notice these dark pluses change to a gray one. That means that we're in breakout phase. You typically look to see where it's going to be riding, and it looks to typically continue the pattern it was in when it's looking to break out. If you notice, it was getting less volatile right here, and it started tightening up until we hit this top part of the Bollinger Band. And as it was, we were in this upward momentum, this upward trajectory over here, and it really just did continue and pushed it right up. That's when it broke out of this after a really long squeeze. If you look here, there wasn't many long breakouts. There's been a lot of long squeezes. The last really long breakout we had was this big push from 17 all the way to 40, and that was a multi-day breakout. If you look at here, there was really no big pullbacks. There was no downward momentum that there was recently. And if you look at it, it's really starting to get less and less and less. And I'm going to look here to see how much momentum we are going to have down. And if it's really not going to be as much as I'm anticipating, and we're just going to start and turn back up, I'd really look to see this to start taking off, and we'd start to have a smaller one to a bigger one to it. It might just really explode here. I might be looking, for me personally, let's get back from that. There we are. So yeah, I'm going to be really looking, all right, let's continue here. I'm going to be really looking to see what's going to happen. We just started this squeeze down, and I'm going to be looking for it to just be a smaller pattern than it was here. If it's a bigger one, then I'm going to see about us, see what we're going to do. Because right now, I start to turn this new indicator on just to see, it tells you what the trend is. And right now, since we're in a red cloud, we're in a downward trend a little bit. I mean, you can see this from our downward flag right here. I still think our downward flag, we did have this little bit of a breakout. But then if you look back over, I didn't move these lines at all. It rode this top part of the line as resistance. It pushed off it. We were able to get right through. I'm going to be looking to see another play right around here, actually, on the second. I might be looking for the second into the third, right around noon on the second for us to make a play up. Then I could see us a push back up to that 35 because we've seen how easy once it blows through this line of resistance right here. I really think it's going to take off and it's going to shoot up. I'm just looking at the momentum, and I'm going to be looking to see what we're going to do in the next 4 to 12 hours. If we push below this, I might be looking at us to, and we push below this, I might be looking for us to break out and go downward a little bit. Maybe even drop down to this $29,000, $30,000 mark over the next couple days. It's, when we're talking about Bitcoin, we're talking about anything in the market like this. You're talking about up and downs. You're not talking about, oh, it's always going to go up. It's up and down. All right, and taking a look at our Zcash chart, if we look at here, let's turn this Immokhu cloud off because I want to see what we're looking like with our momentum and our Bollinger Bands. In my opinion right here, Zcash is on. If you look here, we're on a little bit of an uptick. We're still riding higher than we were. The only time it was in that little bit of a push right before December, but we're still riding in a higher channel. It looks like a period of consolidation. I'm just, and I see us getting less and less for the momentum down. My concern is we're squeezing right now. We're still going to be squeezing, and we're squeezing hard. I'm looking to see what's going to happen for me by the second here too, because if we really come up to this momentum and we keep riding this upper Bollinger Band, as we break out, we might have one of those where it looks like it's going to come down and then come right back up and like really take off. Because that's what we're really waiting on Zcash now. Zcash had a bigger push all the way up to 120. I think Zcash has a lot more fuel for the fire than that. If a meme coin like Dogecoin can take off and get an $11 billion market cap out of nowhere, I think Zcash, a coin that does have utility, it does have proof of utilization. I think a coin like this could really take off and stick around rather than see one of those big pump and dumps that like you're saying with Dogecoin. Last chart I really wanted to go over was the Zcash to Bitcoin chart. This is one I made yesterday, and I really felt like we're still riding in this descending channel for the Zcash to Bitcoin price. I really think we've been trying to break out a few times of this, and until we break out of it, I could see us going back up to a 0.01, 0.02 per Bitcoin on the parity. But I really think until we break out of this, we've been trying to make it. We're not going to have a big move in Zcash. It's only going to follow this parity to Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin makes a really big move, you might see Zcash just start plummeting. Until Zcash really busts through this level of resistance that's right here, that I think we've been riding since September, a descending resistance line. Like, we have to bust out of this and really push through. Because right now, I think we're sitting at all-time lows for Zcash besides, this channel. We're sitting at all-time lows for Zcash on the Bitcoin parity. All right, guys, and heading over to CoinGecko just to check out our top coins, just to see what's really moving here. The market cap's sitting pretty at about $1 trillion. Like I've said, since I've started making these videos, these have hovered between 1.05 trillion and 900 billion. So the market cap's pretty steady where it is, down 2.2% over the last 24 hours, which really isn't that, it's nothing really in the bigger picture. Bitcoin down to 3288. We're down 3.5% on the day. We're going up a little bit more. We got 0.03% on the hour, so it looks like we're in a little bit of an uptick. If you look at the past 7 days, it does look like we're continuing a little bit of an upward momentum pattern. If we don't solidify and if we start falling back down to 31,000, I'd look to that to be just a little bit of a fake out. We might continue this downward pattern we've had since the 5th to the 10th of the month where we hit that $40,000. Ethereum, $1,300. Ethereum did a big push this week. I think we actually went all the way up to $14,000 or $1,400 again and blew by it. Yep, did it 3 times. Hit over $1,400 3 times this week. We actually broke the all-time high right on the 24th. So 1 week ago today, we actually hit the all-time high, and it's been hovering around there since. If we look a little bit on the bigger chart of it, it's nothing but up. So I think we're just waiting here, and we're going to see another movement up. It's just a matter of when. It looks like we're in a period of consolidation, but it looks like a consolidation up. It's, higher lows, and it looks like lower highs. So ideally, that's what you want to look for in a consolidation pattern. And then you're going to continue the pattern up. If we go to our other coins, Polkadot sitting at 1607, $15 billion market cap. Cardano's sitting at a $11 billion market cap, 34 cents a piece. Stellar Lumens is sitting at 30 cents a piece. Dogecoin, 3 cents a piece. Now this is a coin, it's a meme coin. If we look right here, I think there's been a lot of just like talk about this, if you look at Dogecoin over its entire life cycle, right now we hit the all-time high right around 8 cents. And ever since then, I mean, you'll see Dogecoin does these flash jumps, just complete flash jumps. It did this one on the 5th in January 18, then rode a couple bumps, and then rode all the way down. I really think we're going to continue that pattern. I think we're going to hit 8 cents. We're going to come down. We're going to probably rise around a penny, maybe a half a penny. I don't think it's going to stay much higher than that. I really don't see utilization for Dogecoin. If you look to see how many Dogecoin are in existence, and I think that's a number everyone has to look at, is the circulating supply. There's 128 billion of them. There's an infinite amount that can be printed. I think they have a hard cap set, but still, that's still way too many coins. There's too much in existence. There's no scarcity involved. It's just right now a hype coin that people are buying and selling, and as soon as it rises much higher, they just sell it. It's with no utilization. It's more like a Ponzi scheme. It's like, more people are going to get burned by the bigger holders who are just going to sell when everyone starts rising. And they get the influencers to start making hype on it. You're going to see a lot of influencers hyping these smaller coins. You see it every cycle. They hype the smaller coins. They make money off those smaller coins. A lot of the people who own those smaller coins will shoot them a message, shoot them a little bag of those coins, and then they'll make a big positive video on it. And it's really something you got to discourage yourself from. Look to see who's really profiting off that when they give you a recommendation. My recommendations are what I'm in. Like, I'm not profiting anything off those. Mind you, I get like 20 viewers, so who's really going to make money off Derek Kruger? You know what I mean? So I just do it. I just look for the projects that I see that I think are going to be big in the future. I'm not looking, just typing in on, don't be the person who types on YouTube, coins to get rich on in 2021. It's not going to help you. You got to do your own research. You can't listen to everybody else. You know what I mean? Figure out what you think is going to be good. It's the people like that, the people that ride on the hype, that are the people that are always going to lose. You're going to listen to the people who are making the money by selling it when you are buying it. You know what I mean? If they're offering, they're telling everyone, hey, buy it here, buy it now. They're creating, especially if they have a bigger following, they're creating this artificial demand for it. And with most coins, you're going to have a limited supply, and the artificial demand is going to come up to meet the supply price, and then you're going to have an increase in price just because people want to purchase the coins, and you have to have people willing to sell in order to meet the price. I just think I really think these coins, you got to look at who's making money on the coins. You got to look at if they offer utility. You got to look at all the fundamentals of them. It's like stock. It's like, investing in a company. You're investing in the future of a coin and what you think is going to happen in the bigger picture. Don't be a stupid person. Don't be one of the investors that you'll transfer 5, 10, 20, 30% of your wealth into a coin like, you go all the way down the list and you find, Bitcoin Cash ABC. Let's throw 50% of my net worth in investing in this. When you have no idea what's going on in it, you have to make sure you have the research, you have the fundamentals, you understand what that coin does. Otherwise, it's just like throwing money in a slot machine. You want to be the person who's knowledgeable about it. You want to be the person that invests in stuff that you think will succeed. In the sake of rambling, that's pretty much all that's going on in these coins right now. I'm going to switch on over and we're going to talk about a couple news articles, and then we're going to call it because I did a live stream yesterday. Keep on the lookout for those. I will be starting to do a few more live streams. Might throw them in once or twice a week. Typically, it's going to be in the morning. If I work that day, it's going to be before work. I'm going to have a cup of coffee and just go over my weekly crypto news. Or it might be on a Saturday morning as well. Just do a quick half-hour, 45-minute live stream. Feel free to jump in, ask a couple questions, or let's have a crypto talk. If we look at our DeFi market cap, the DeFi market cap is actually $50 billion right now. The DeFi market cap is one that we have to really look at because that's decentralized finance, I think, is going to be a big part of the future. If we look at DeFi, it's really taken off, and we're in the next little part of this little bubble. The last one we had was a jump up to almost in DeFi total, or altcoins. DeFi was 5 billion. Now we're looking at 47. we're looking at almost a 10x from the prior all-time high. I mean, mind you, I think over in here we did go to 17. But like since the all-time high, the last bubble to this bubble, when all the coins were for $848 billion, there was only a few billion in DeFi, 4 billion. Now we're looking at almost a 10x, 15, 20, 10x, 12x increase from that all-time high to this all-time high. With all these coins going into decentralized finance, I really think that you have to have a little bit of a play in DeFi, whether it be a DEX coin, whether it be Uniswap, whether it be something that's going to make you, like, you have to be in DeFi right now. Just a little bit exposed to the DeFi market. All right, guys, the big article for the week, I wanted to bring this one up, and I think this is huge. Visa's may add cryptocurrencies to its payment network. I think this is going to be huge, as it could make payments with crypto as easy as swiping your credit card or bank card and pushing the cryptocurrency button as opposed to pushing credit or debit. That's right there a second level for the Bitcoin payment system, as opposed to, if they use Lightning, that could work as well. But I think it adds that second level, because Visa allows the purchase. Visa will transact with the merchant. The merchant then can decide whether they want to get paid in Bitcoin or get paid in their national currency. That could be so huge. And Visa even talking about this is extremely bullish. You're looking at them allowing a third payment system. And with so many people that have access to Visa or MasterCard, if Visa follows, you can bet your butt MasterCard's going to follow suit almost immediately. With everyone having access to those cards, imagine pushing it through or tapping your card to the machine and just pushing Bitcoin or pushing Ethereum, just having it removed from your account. That's how easy it could be in the future. And that's something we have to look at. And when there is movement in, there's volume being moved in the currency, there's demand for it to buy in it, there's demand to sell in it. If you want to buy it, and then, it's typically, if you buy and hold, it does go up. You can then spend it too. Like, that's where you're talking about it becoming a currency. It can be spent, it can be used, it can be transacted. People can receive it, people can spend it, and people can then or trade it back to their national currency. With all these big companies starting to take Bitcoin in their national coffers, I think this is huge news. This is the CEO of Visa, Al Kelly. Today, 35 of the leading digital currency platforms and wallets have already chosen to issue Visa, including Coinbasedcrypto.com, BlockFi, Fold, and Bitpanda. These wallet relationships represent the potential for more than 50 million Visa credentials. 50 million people would then have access to Bitcoin, crypto, Ethereum, anything. The next leading network has a fraction of that, and it goes without saying, to the extent a specific digital currency becomes recognized means of exchange, there's no reason we cannot add it to the network, which already supports over 160 currencies today. You're talking about, it's right now as Bitcoin is with the IRS, and you have to calculate your capital gains, net losses or gains depending on what you bought it at and what you're selling it at. It is a little bit harder for the average person to spend it and track all that. But I think this is something that you have to look at, and you really think this is bullish. We're seeing news like this every day, every week, where people are just taking and buying more of these currencies. They're accepting them. They're adding them to their treasures. They're adding them to their corporate coffers. You're seeing all these companies work with institutional payment systems that are already in place. People are starting to accept that these cryptos are the future, and you have to get involved in them, or you're going to be left behind. Blockbuster fell away because they didn't change with the times. That's something we all have to remember. One of the things I did want to talk about this week that I didn't initially think about, but everyone seems to be talking about it. One of the things I wanted to bring up this week that everyone seems to be talking about was that big Robinhood event that happened. I look at that as an event that allows you that has a corporation telling you when you cannot or can purchase an asset. Closing an open market, I think, is not a good thing. I think it's a dangerous thing. I think trying to control something that should be open and free is a little bit questionable. One thing that I really was thinking about, as you know, in response to this, is owning, ownership of your assets, ownership of your, what you're purchasing. With Bitcoin too, like when you think about any digital currency and you're purchasing it on Robinhood, you don't control your keys, you don't control your money. Robinhood does. You have Bitcoin, you don't control, or if you have Bitcoin on an exchange, you don't control that. You're, the person that owns that coin, the person that actually holds the company that has it and it says you have that much, controls your coins. One of the things you really have to look at is getting a hard wallet. If you own digital currency, if you own any currency, cash is king. You own your cash. If you have a hard wallet, you have the keys to your coin. No one else has those keys to your coin. I think it's always, if you're interested in owning any digital asset, it's always very, very important for you to get a hard wallet, whether it be a Ledger, a Trezor, anything really. You have to have the keys to your coin. Custody is everything, and make sure you're knowledgeable about it so you're not going out there losing your coins or not getting scammed by one of these emails that are sending you saying that your hard wallet password's wrong. Make sure you're presented yourself. You got to be knowledgeable about everything. Make sure you own your assets. Make sure someone else doesn't have custody of those. It's just something I wanted to bring up, and I thought it had to do with, I thought for me, that's what one of the bigger takeaways I took from this was make sure you own your assets. You have to have custody of that. All right, guys, in the sake of keeping this kind of short, since I did a video yesterday that was a little bit of a live stream, check it out. Also, if you guys are checking this out and you haven't, also follow me, like me on the Facebook platform. It will let you know when we do go live if you do follow us. Again, this has been another exciting week for Derek's weekly crypto update. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And if you ever have any questions, any comments, throw them down in the comments section. I'd be happy to address them. Thanks so much. Hope you have a great week.